The days after the Mar-a-Lago raid, Trump claimed, among other things, that there could not be any classified materials at his home because he had a standing order to declassify any documents that he took from the Oval Office to the White House residence. But now, former Trump administration officials say that claim is ludicrous and ridiculous and complete fiction. CNN's Jamie Gangel is breaking this story for us now. Jamie, tell us who you talked to and what else they said about Trump's claims.
It wasn't just a couple of people, Jake. We reached out to 18 former very senior Trump officials, White House, intelligence community, NSA, Justice Department, even his former chiefs of staff. Many of these people either would have been involved in the process or would have been aware of the process. And each and every one, all 18, dismissed the notion that there was any standing order for a sweeping declassification. Some of them even laughed at it. And this doesn't happen too often. They even went on the record. So let's start with former White House Chief of Staff John Kelly, who said, "Nothing approaching an order that foolish was ever given. And I can't imagine anyone that worked at the White House after me that would have simply shrugged their shoulders and allowed that order to go forward without dying in the ditch trying to stop it." Another chief of staff, Mick Mulvaney, acting chief of staff, he flatly dismissed the idea and told me, quote, "Not aware of a general standing order when he was chief." Former National Security Advisor John Bolton called it, quote, "a complete fiction." And Jake, as they say, but wait, there's more. Olivia Troy, former Homeland Security official to Mike Pence, called it ludicrous. Another former very senior intelligence official laughed and said it's ridiculous. And a very, very senior Trump administration official called it, quote, bullshit. And actually, there were a couple of
other words
who said that. More officials who called it BS.
So, Jamie, obviously, any president, including Donald Trump, has broad powers to declassify materials when he's in office. But my impression of it is that you have to create a record of it. You can't just like wave your hands and say this is declassified. Has anyone seen or found any record of this?
No, not yet. As one very senior White House official said to me, "Show me his signature. Where is the proof?" And to your point, it has to be memorialized, and there is a process. It's frequently a complicated process that requires multiple agencies.
Right, they might push back. They might say, please don't do this, Mr. President.
Absolutely. The idea that Donald Trump could have this idea in his head or wave a magic wand is simply not the way it works.
Yeah. Another question I have, obviously, these officials also say that top national security officials in the administration would have had a major issue if Donald Trump, President Trump, had ever issued such an order. They wouldn't have just gone along with it.
Absolutely. Look, I was told by several people that people would have resigned over this at the top level, that it was, quote, reckless to even suggest such a standing offer. As to why Trump is saying this now, almost everyone I spoke to said it is a transparent attempt to try to come up with some legal justification for why he took these papers to Mar-a-Lago.